Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala because His help I can finish my research paper. Secondly, I would like to thanks to my supervisors, Miss Anita Anggraini SSOS MPD as first supervisor and Miss Setia Rasmini MPD as second supervisor, who always guide and help me in processing this research paper. Before we go into the next slide, let me introduce myself. My name is Sulis Nur Fadila from English Education Study Program, Faculty of Language Education, IKIP Siliwangi 2022. This video is made for requirement of my final project for Sarjana Pendidikan Negeri in English Education. So, let's get started to the topic now. My thesis is under the title Developing Ribo Assisted by Padlet in Teaching Writing Recontext to Junior High School Students. Okay, let's move to the next slide. This is a presentation outline. There are five the presentation outline in here. The first one is background of the research. The second one is objectives of the research, and the third one is methodology. In the methodology, there are 5 points in this research. The first one is research method, and then research design, subject of the research, data collection and data analysis techniques. And the next one is the result of the research, and the last one is the conclusion of the research. Okay, let's move to the first offline today. This is about background of the research. The first one is about writing. Let's talking about writing. Writing is one of four crucial abilities in language learning because it is productive skill that encourage the student express themselves in writing form. According to Michal Cake and Wilson 2011, writing can be used to communicate with others outside of spoken form. And Brown 2001 state that writing is an activity require the process of thinking. So, according to uh, the statement above, based on the preliminary study at junior high school students, there are the struggle that faced by student, namely the student lack of vocabulary, and then the student only pay attention on the to using data model tongue, and then the student seldom ever use dictionary while learning it because the student lack of vocabulary. And the last one, the student difficult to arrange sentences in English. So let's talk about recount text. According to Anderson, 1997, recount is defined as a piece of text that retells events aimed to give the audience descriptions of what occurred when it occurred. Watkins 2005 states recount are sequential texts that do little more than sequence a series of events. And the storyboard, according to Vision Gender, 1993, page 161, a sheet by Hasan and Wijaya 2016. Storyboard is a process of brainstorming ideas before starting to write, and students can use storyboard animation to help them organize thoughts in a into a story. And a Padlet is a free platform and in the form of an online bulletin board, so students can organize information and various topics they want. Sanita 2016. The storyboard, assisted by Padlet application to make it easier for students to work and collect their assignment. Okay, based on the statement above, based, based on statement above, the researcher made Rick Ribot as the media that aimed to provide instructions for assembling sentences to make it easier for students uh, to create a recontext based on the pictures and a clue of the storyboard. Then, assisted by Padlet application to make it easier for students to work and collect their assignment. This is objectives of the research. There are 4 points in here. The first one is to describe the process and result of developing Recribo, and the second one to know the feasibility of developing Recribo. The third one is to describe the students' responses toward Recribo in learning, writing, recontext. And the last one to describe the obstacles that are faced when developing Recribo. Okay, we're going to the next outline in here. This is a methodology. This type of the research is development research or R&D. According to Berg and Gall, 1989, R&D is derived from observation of various symptoms that appear in the educational community and necessitate long-term handling of educational products. The researchers use the research and development approach by adapting Borg and Gall 1989 as cited by Sukmadinata 2012, page 161 until 187. There are 10 steps in this model, but the researchers only took 7 types. There are potential issues, data collection, product design, design validation, design revision, design trial, and product revision. And the subject of this research were the 65 students in the 8th grades from junior high school student in Cimahi. 15 students were took for the preliminary field testing, and 50 students were taken for main field testing. And the data collection that used in this research is questionnaire, expert validation, and interview. And qualitative data and quantitative is used to data analysis technique in this result, in this research. The next one is the result of the research. Okay. The first one is about the process and result of developing Recribo. Before we go into the explain this slide, I would like to explain the process before the made a Recribo and after make a Recribo. The first, the researchers uh, collected data collection with interview the students and teacher. After that, the researchers designed a product that is Recribo or Recontext Storyboard. And then next, the Recribo is validated by the first supervisor and second supervisor. After that, the researcher revise a product based on the validation. So the product can be applied and tested. And finally, the result of using Recribo can be seen. Okay, in this slide, there are the first one is the display of the Padlet. There are the first, the researcher give a PowerPoint of the material of recontext, and then after after explain and give the material about recontext, and then the student understand about what is the recontext, how to make a recontext, and then the researcher give the assignment with give an storyboard, and this is an example of storyboard. There are the title of the storyboard. This is my daily activity. There are 6 until 8 pictures in here with the clue of student that guide the student to write a recontext. And this is a student works. Uh, Student works, and the student should to arrange the arrange these pictures into a good recontext or a good paragraph about the context. And after the students work the assignment, the students submit their assignment to the Padlet, and this is the display of the Padlet. Okay, and the next one after that, the feasibility result of developing Recribo, and this is table of feasibility result of developing Recribo. The feasibility score from validator 1 is 83% and validator 2 is 86%. It means Recribo is feasible and worth to use and apply by the student at school. And the next one is the students' responses toward developing Recribo. This is the table about student responses. The table shows the result of 8th grade junior high school students' responses using Recribo assisted by Padlet. The student score gained 84% on questionnaire use and placing in the good or attractive category. It means the storyboard interesting to learn. And then this one is the table of score of pre-test and post-test. The average score of the pre-test was 80.3 and the post-test was 86.9. This indicates that the students gain more understanding after using Recribo. This shows how effectively developed learning media can enhance student learning. And the next one is the obstacles that are faced when developing Recribo. The first one, the limit of time on learning. And the second one, students are divided into 2 sections. And the third one, limited time that given by school. The research, it can be 1 week. And the last one, not all students bring smartphone to the class. Even there are several struggles or problems that face of by a researcher, but the researcher can face and handle this problem. Okay, we're going to the last one. This is about conclusion of my research paper. The first one, the process and result of developing the media went smoothly. That Rickribot was able to apply and work after some process. And then, based on validation result for experts from supervisor 1 and 2, the Rickribot get the average score is 84.5%, which falls into good category and indicates that the media may be utilized with very minor revision. And the students' responses to the questionnaire were mostly positive, that the media helped them comprehend and able to create a context. And the last one, the researcher faced a variety of challenges, including the limit of time on learning. Students are divided into two sections, limited time that given by school, and not all students bring smartphone to class. And maybe that's all for me about my research paper. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.